And we begin with that explosive I-Team investigation. Our team exposing a former doctor with a dark and deadly past. He killed a patient, even poisoned his own wife. Now 20 years later, Anthony Pignataro is back, treating people under a new name and without a license. Tonight, our own Charlie Specht bringing the truth to light in this I-Team investigation.
He's crazy. I would say he's crazy.
What happened? What happened to me that I almost died?
Anthony Pignataro in the 1990s was a huge name in Western New York. He was a plastic surgeon, drove around this fancy Lamborghini, and he did plastic surgery in West Seneca. Well, one of his patients here, Sarah Smith, died on his operating table.
Former plastic surgeon pleaded guilty to criminally negligent homicide.
The woman's heart stopped beating.
Wife then becomes mysteriously ill. She
thought I was never going to walk again, never going to be able to use my hands again.
And the unbelievable part is who did it to her.
Anthony Pignataro behind bars for attempting to poison his wife with arsenic.
telling us there's a chance here that this Tony Hote, who's practicing now in West Seneca, could actually be Anthony Pignataro.
Some of them stumbled upon this and, saw the resemblance, and it wouldn't be out of character for him.
What's shocking to me is that this is happening in West Seneca, the same place that Dr. Anthony Pignataro was practicing.
Look at this. June 15, 2015, Anthony S. Pignataro filed to change his name to Anthony Hote. And then if you look at the address here. This is 3085 Seneca Street. That is the same address where that business is licensed. So we have Pignataro's name connected to that address. We have Tony Hote's name connected to that address. That address is where he is operating this medical practice out of. I mean, that's it. That's the key right there.
Pignataro wasn't home when we stopped by, but neighbors told us they have called police on him before after noticing deliveries of surgical supplies, women coming in and out of the house late at night. And as one neighbor put it, quote, "Some real weird stuff happens here." We showed our findings to police, and Erie County District Attorney John Flynn said those findings have already caused him to open a criminal investigation. Tony, can we have a second? We just want to ask you a few questions. Is this you right here? What? Just a minute of your time, please, here. We just want to ask you a few questions. Why are you deceiving the public? If I can just have a minute of your time.
Anthony Hote.
Unbelievable.
And this is the...
That's him. Yeah, that's him. He's getting away with this. I just would hope that, when you bring this story to light, that somebody important enough to do something about it will, and they can stop this guy. He should not be doing this. He should not be touching people. If someone doesn't stop him, he's going to hurt somebody.
Wow, Charlie, stunning findings. I just don't understand. Is this legal?
This does not appear to be legal in any fashion here, mostly because he does not have a license to practice medicine of any kind in the state of New York.
What is the next step here? You mentioned investigations now being opened up because of this reporting, because of this story that aired already just tonight.
That's right. State Ed is now investigating, as well as the Erie County District Attorney criminal investigation. We are going to get into both of those investigations tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. And also you're going to hear from one of his victims here about a horrific surgery that he put her through.
All right, Charlie Specht's been digging into this for weeks. Charlie, thank you so much for your reporting tonight.
Thank you.
The lead investigator from our I-Team, Charlie Specht, here now with an update because you spoke with him on the phone today.
That's right. Breathtaking interview just moments ago. He asked us if he could air, he said he would speak to us exclusively if we aired his entire statement unedited. We're keeping that promise to Mr. Pignataro here, and for the first time in 20 years, you can hear the former Dr. Anthony Pignataro and his side of the story.
I make this statement of my own free will because this is way too painful. It's been a long time, and I can't go through this again. And it's been way too painful for many people. And for that, I want to offer my most sincere apologies, mostly to my ex-wife, my children, and my grandchildren. But also all of my ex-patients, my landlord and neighbors, but mostly the Smith family. Everybody is hurt by this. That's why I changed my name. I needed to move on, and I did not want this. I promise you that. With total and profound sincerity, and I tell you honestly, I'm simply selling skincare products to try to start over. I deserve a chance to start over. That's why I changed my name. I'm awaiting a patent on a skincare system which, yes, uses plasma, but the entire system is intended to be over-the-counter and used by consumers in their home and has nothing to do with the practice of medicine. If the Department of Education determines that it's stretching that boundary, then I will gladly and immediately shut it down. I am more than happy to work with the Department of Education to determine if I've stretched that boundary. I have not gone back into practice. I have not seen patients here. There have not been surgical deliveries here. I've had containers for my skincare products, moisturizers and so forth delivered, and that's it. I'm working very hard. I'm trying to get ahead. I'm a delivery driver now. And this e-commerce thing that you're reporting on was simply an idea that came to me. And I hope it's not a crime that someone's paid his debt and deserves a chance to start over. It's been 20 years. And I would ask you, Charlie, as a reporter, whether you might approach the DA to ask whether or not there's anything untoward here. I did not intend that. And again, I repeat, I apologize on my knees to my ex-wife, my children, my grandchildren, my ex-patients, the Smith family, my landlord, the neighbors. I did not want this.
Now, you heard Mr. Pignataro asking us to take that question, is this a crime, to the District Attorney's Office. That is exactly what we are going to do this afternoon, and we will have an answer for you at 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock right here on 7 Eyewitness News.
Time we are hearing firsthand from a woman who was treated by Pignataro, and she has the scars, both mental and physical, documenting her ordeal. Here's I-Team lead investigator Charlie Specht with her story.
I've felt pain before. I had never felt pain like this in my life.
Terry Lamarty's tummy tuck at the hands of Dr. Anthony Pignataro 2 decades ago was a surgery that would change her life forever.
He knew he did something wrong.
How else to explain what Lamarty says was Pignataro's rush to shoo her out the door of his West Seneca office?
He yelled at my husband for calling him. I told you it's not blood, it's just fluid, don't be bothering me.
But as soon as she got to her house in South Buffalo,
blood is just pooling at my feet, like literally a puddle of blood at my feet.
Doctors at Mercy Hospital couldn't believe what they were seeing.
I had one nurse on one side of my bed, one nurse on the other side. They pulled everything down and they just both started crying. My lawyer likened what he did to me that I looked like I got attacked by a bear.
Pignataro was barred from practicing at any of Western New York's hospitals, and Lamarty soon came to find out why.
He shows up in my hospital room, flips on the light, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, and he starts screaming at me to get out of here. I told you you don't belong in the hospital. And he has my chart and he discharged me in my chart. Nurses and security guards came in and they bodily escorted him out of the hospital.
Follow-up appointments were something she could only describe as
Dr. Frankensteinish. He grabbed a staple puller out of a drawer and pulled the staples out of my abdomen, and then he just threw it back in the drawer.
Lamarty's account is backed by public records. This week, as the 7 Eyewitness News I-Team revealed Pignataro's new efforts to get back into the healthcare field, Lamarty was reminded of Pignataro's bizarre behavior when she was testifying against him 2 decades ago before a grand jury.
This is what a sociopath he is. He saw me and he broke away from his attorneys and came over to my side of the hall and tried to hug me and said, "Oh my God, Terry, look at you. You look amazing. I did such a good job."
Such a good job that Lamarty would need 13 corrective surgeries to fix. Now, even though Pignataro did call us with that statement earlier in the day, in fairness, we reached out to him again tonight to see if he would respond to some of Lamarty's direct criticisms. He did not return our message.
And Charlie, your investigation has prompted Erie County and the state to look into what Pignataro's been up to now?
That's right. Well, just today we saw state investigators staking out the house and the office of Dr. Pignataro, and what they and other prosecutors may be looking into, well, it centers around the doctor's new identity and whether he obtained that identity illegally. When Anthony Pignataro walked free from state prison in 2013, his reputation was at an all-time low.
I'm surprised he's able to show his face in Western New York.
Terry Lamarty is one of Pignataro's many victims who worries the West Seneca doctor who was jailed 2 decades ago for poisoning his wife and killing a patient is now back in healthcare without a medical license.
He'll do it till the day he dies. He'll try to get away with whatever he can.
A 7 Eyewitness News I-Team investigation revealed Pignataro tried to change his name in Erie County Court to Anthony Hote. Law enforcement blocked the effort, but new documents obtained by 7 Eyewitness News show Pignataro tried the same thing in Florida and succeeded, telling a judge he lived in this house near Sarasota, which we found out is really owned by his brother Stephen. Prosecutors are trying to prove Pignataro was seeing patients illegally, but 7 Eyewitness News legal expert Florina Altschuyler says they may also be able to get Pignataro for lying when he changed his name.
And if he was not living there at the time, then he could be charged with a crime of filing a false document, because that document was filed with a court and he certified it as true.
Pignataro admits he served jail time for his 2 felony convictions. He even lists the address of his West Seneca office and appears to have filed the form by mail from New York.
It's odd for sure. The question is, what, if any, connection does he have to that Florida address? Is it really just his brother's address where he has never lived, in which case that would be false? Or is it an address that he resided at part-time?
Neither Pignataro nor his brother in Florida responded to our phone calls and emails. But if Pignataro really was living in Florida, he should be able to provide proof of residency, things like mail, a driver's license, utility bills, or property records.
I suspect that he has none of that. He's an Erie County resident. He's operating a business under potentially suspicious circumstances in Erie County.
The good news is you no longer have to worry about Anthony Pignataro practicing medicine under a fake name here in Western New York. The bad news, especially for state and county investigators, is no one seems to know exactly where Pignataro is. After our I-Team investigation, Pignataro seemed ready to clear his name and answer questions from state regulators about why he was representing himself as a practicing doctor, even though the felon had his medical license taken away 2 decades ago.
I am more than happy to work with the Department of Education to determine if I've stretched that boundary.
But now Pignataro seems to have vanished, evicted from the West Seneca apartment he was portraying as a doctor's office, and leaving his day job as a bulk foods delivery driver. Pignataro did not respond to our messages, but one of Pignataro's old patients called us to say he has no business in the medical field.
It scares me, first of all, that they would allow him to have a name change. That's wrong. Second of all, that they would allow him to operate a business in the cosmetic industry in any state of the U.S. or anywhere in the world is wrong. He should not be allowed in that industry at all. Let him be a garbage man, let him be a gardener, but he should not have direct association of serving people.
Some people believe Pignataro may have fled to Florida where his brother lives. Others think he's keeping a very low profile here in Western New York. One thing we know for certain here, he's no longer advertising himself as a doctor to the public.
It's one thing we hope to prevent with this investigation when we started it.